Let's talk a bit about Cersei and Jaime and King's Landing, because we haven't really talked about that yet on Dragons on the Wall this year. Because this episode really showed them sort of really united. Especially there was so much friction and issues between them, and they really seemed to split off from each other. But right now they seem completely on the same page. Do you think this can last? That maybe the death of their daughter has kind of unified them, or is it? They're going to have to split.
This isn't directly answering your question. I know I've said it before, but I really think this show has done a poor job at tracking the evolution of Jaime Lannister. I don't fully understand where he is as a character right now. I see physically where he is. I understand his actions. I'm not sure how we went from where he was with Brienne and when he came back to King's Landing, other than going through Dorne and seeing his daughter die, to where he is now, especially with Cersei. That being said, there's some interesting stuff going on. There's certainly doing some power plays. And I think for all that Cersei has said she should have been born a man and, she's more capable than all these people, it's definitely benefited her having someone who is another notable figure at her side, and then the big imposing Hulk of Sir Robert Strong. We're building up to this confrontation with the High Sparrow. I don't know. I think I'm just so focused on Jon and Bran that I'm like, okay, cool. Like, these things are happening. We'll see what your big power play is if there's another big fight that involves getting Marjorie out. And I'm always excited to have Olenna Tyrell be back. She's Yas Queen. She's the freaking best.
Yeah.
How about for you?
I agree with what you said about. I do think they've to some extent sort of lost the thread on Jaime, because he's one of my favorite characters in the book, his arc, and I thought the show was doing a great job of matching that through all the Brienne stuff. Like, just to see the evolution of him and, where he was going and see the connection of him and Brienne. But yeah, it's been kind of murky lately. And the Dorne storyline helped no one, obviously.
Right.
And at the same time, I think they've been doing a strong job with Cersei, which, I think a lot of people are kind of not realizing how they've sort of been shifting on Cersei to the point that everyone's rooting for Cersei to take out these people. Cersei was a character that we were pretty much completely against, a couple years ago.
I'm on Team Kevin Lannister still. I don't know if I'm rooting for Cersei yet.
But I think a lot of people are.
You're right.
And I think that they've done a better job of, of just showing different facets of her, so that it's not like, I don't know if it's not redeemed. It's just kind of like she is a fully realized character, But I do think there needs to be more with Jaime, because right now he's just kind of there. And we don't know, what does he feel about Cersei? Is he still in love with her?
It seems like he is, based on what happened earlier in the season. I thought, I don't know.
But I think we need a little bit more to kind of get inside his head and see, what is motivating him. Because she has been shamed. That her son is in danger. Her daughter has died.
And I love her power play line in this episode too, where she's like, anyone who's trying to take advantage of our losses, I want to know about it and I want to deal with it, be it in Dorne or wherever. And I thought that was great. I was like, okay, I do like this side of Cersei. Don't back her into a corner.
No, yeah, that's great. And but Jaime, it's funny. I realize as I'm saying it, everything I just said stands for him too, because it's also his daughter and son and nephew and niece.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he doesn't feel as motivated. He's just kind of there by her side. And so I hope we get back to sort of what is really driving him and where his mind is at, and how much is he aligned with. He's obviously aligned with Cersei, but how much are they in sync right now versus him just kind of being there to help her.
And Cersei's always been a character who her problem, and I'm not saying this is like a character development thing, it's just like her internal problem is being so short-sighted. And so she's so hyper-focused on what's happening here that she has no idea what's happening elsewhere in the realm. And I'm really curious what will happen, if and when she overcomes this issue with the Faith Militant and, this grappling for power in King's Landing, when she's like, wait, what is happening up north?
Right.
And Roose Bolton is dead and Jon Snow is left the Night's Watch, and Sansa is doing all this stuff, and what's happening over with the Iron Islands. Maybe she never pays attention to those things. It wouldn't surprise me. But I think that'll be really interesting when the focus does shift away from this, and it seems like it must do that eventually. How do they react there?
Yeah. So let's know in the comments what you think about Jaime and Cersei this season, and also specifically what we were talking about Jaime. Do you think that Jaime is kind of maybe needs a little bit more to be fully realized these days, given the path he was on a couple seasons ago and where his mind's at.